The intelligent platform you know is stepping things up. Introducing the Washington, D.C. release. Creating faster, smarter, and simpler experiences with generative AI. We're putting AI to work with Now Assist for IT operations management AI ops. Up your productivity with easier on-the-job training to understand and repair issues instantly and keep everyone up and running. We're speeding up the lead-to-cash cycle with sales and order management. Configure, price, and quote more quickly and convert orders seamlessly. Driving revenue up and bringing costs down. We're upping your game with a unified workflow studio experience that connects every team and process. So you'll build even faster and better. So get fired up. This is the Washington, D.C. release. 150 plus innovations built into one intelligent platform to put AI to work for people. That's why the world works with ServiceNow.
Please welcome Senior Developer Advocates, ServiceNow, Lauren McManamon and Chuck Tomasi.
Welcome to the Washington, D.C. release event. Who's excited to be here? Yeah!
I love to hear the energy. We're excited to be here in Washington, D.C., and more excited to showcase to all of you everything that Washington, D.C. has to offer.
What a great crowd. Hey, Lauren, I was just backstage a few minutes ago, and I did some quick counting. Washington, D.C. is my 30th release that I've got. That's since a release called Summer 2008. And there have just been so many things that have been added to the platform that make life easier for us all. It's gone from an ITSM focus to an everything focus. It's just, this trend of innovation is awesome.
And that is a trend that we are continuing with the Washington, D.C. release. We could not have picked a better community to reflect innovation than D.C. herself, whether it's addressing things like refunds from the government shutdown or helping our country and the world through the COVID-19 pandemic. Your community has consistently risen to every occasion, and we could not be more prouder of all the developers and contributors in this room. Yes, please give yourself a round of applause.
It's an amazing community. You're an amazing community, and it is an amazing release. Washington, D.C., names on both. Wonderful stuff. And to help show off some of that wonderful stuff, tell us more about it, please welcome Mark.
Woo!
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Washington, D.C.
We did cross the river. We are in Maryland.
What?
Maryland.
Am I in the right place?
Yes, technically, yes.
Okay, I'm in the right place. Okay. I always love looking forward to these events. It's so awesome to be out here in the community and be able to see the reactions that people have to the amazing innovation that's coming. And I just love the ecosystem that has been built over the years around our community of bringing people together to share best practices, to network, and ultimately to further your careers. So we were in Vancouver last year for the previous release. And of course, later this year, we're going to Xanadu!
Woohoo! We're going to Xanadu, Mongolia!
Okay.
No?
No, I didn't approve those travel requests.
Yet?
Yes.
I don't know about yet. I didn't approve those travel requests.
Aw.
And you guys are, you're lucky to be here because we were thinking about this new AI capability and creating AI versions of Lauren and Chuck to come and represent here.
Boo, boo.
But of course, there's no way we could replace Lauren and Chuck. So thank you for being here and helping us host today.
Well, thank you.
So I'm really excited to be here today to introduce just a handful of the 150 different innovations that are coming out of the Washington, D.C. release. And some of these, not surprisingly, are targeted towards developers. And so with Lauren and Chuck on stage, I just want to pose the question, what should developers be most excited about? What's top of mind for you two?
I mean, I'll cut in here first. As part of the marketing organization, we talk about low code a lot, so I will be the first to talk about pro code today at this release event. Not only are we addressing this brand new SDK that ServiceNow has released in the Washington, D.C. release, but it is the first step for an entire journey that pro coders now have access to on the ServiceNow platform. It allows for a very easy transfer of all the skills that you've spent honing from years of development, utilizing tools that are industry standard, such as Microsoft Visual Studio. That is by far what I'm most excited for at the moment.
Awesome. Chuck.
Yes, I'm here. For those that like doing user experience stuff, we made some additions to UI Builder to give you a new stage, a new UIB stage for a true WYSIWYG environment. We've got configurable column layouts that make it easier to do your page layouts very quickly. And my favorite, keyboard shortcuts!
All right. Yeah, round of applause for those capabilities. Thanks for those examples. Now, we all, in the technology world that we all live in, can't go a day without somebody talking about AI, whether that be generative AI, consumer or business world. And it's the same at ServiceNow. And for the last number of years, 7, 8 years, we've been thinking about how do we build all of our AI capabilities into the Now platform. And so with generative AI and Now Assist, we're taking the same approach. And this is not a bolt-on like some others. This is really embedded and grounded in our platform. And so this is all about automating work. And as we're going to show you in just a few minutes, we have a lot of new capabilities that are designed to help make you and all the work that you're doing faster, smarter, and simpler.
Is this part where we get the demos? Demos?
Hold on. Before we get to the demos, Chuck,
okay.
I want to cover 2 other highlights that really show the power of our platform. So the first of those is the Common Services Data Model, which is an example of us drinking our own champagne and using our own data, or our own data model, if you will. And so this is our best practices framework for deploying the CMDB. And what it does is it helps create a number of new solutions very quickly, combining and reusing the data and capabilities that are already in the products that you have. So the CSDM lets you and lets us rapidly deploy solutions like asset total cost of ownership or software exposure assessment.
I mean, we got to talk about workflow automation. It's not only our wheelhouse, it's my personal favorite.
Workflow automation. So, Lauren, we got you covered. We're going to dig into a few capabilities in a few minutes here on stage.
Well, these people are very keen. They want a concrete example.
So I'm glad you asked, because we do have a great example, which is our partnership with Visa. So with the Washington release, we are releasing a new disputes management solution in partnership with Visa. And it's great to partner with Visa, but as a sort of an example of our workflow and automation capabilities, this has out-of-the-box playbooks and decision tables and subflows that leverage the Visa spokes connecting into the Visa systems. And so both it's super cool from a platform perspective, and this is a great way that we are helping those highly regulated industries like banking and financial services. And with technology like this, Visa alone helps prevent $30 billion in fraud every year. Okay, Chuck, what's next?
These people came here to see demos. What do you say we give them? Demos.
All right, let's give the people what they want.
Absolutely, there's no point in burying the lead any further. Let's give a big round of applause for both Chuck Tomasi and Mark Abramowitz. Thank you so much. And wait, Chuck, think fast.
Oh.
That's why we do live events, ladies and gentlemen, so that we can add in a few stunts every once in a while as well. So journey with me as we talk about the upcoming demos that we have presented for you covered in this Washington, D.C. release. Obviously, we have over 150 awesome things to talk about. We won't get to all of them today, but we will be going deep onto 3 in particular. First, to kick things off, I could not think of a better person to showcase the Now Assist for ITOM. Welcome to the stage, Theo.
All right, hello everyone. This is exciting. I am visiting from the West Coast of the United States today, and this is a bit of a homecoming for me. I was raised in southeastern Virginia. I went to the George Mason University. I cut my early career, go George Mason, Mason Nation. I started my career out here in the DC metro area, but that was say 10 or 12 years ago probably at this point, and so much in AI and ML has changed in the last 2 years. It's hard to even surmise and just what has changed. In the last 3 months alone, there's been so much innovation across the market and within ServiceNow. Now, good news we're going to talk about today is Now Assist for ITOM is in the store and available today, backwards compatible Vancouver, but it's all in Washington. So let's see a demonstration of that at work today, shall we? Yeah. Okay, excellent. Here we are, Service Operations Workspace. If you're not familiar, that is the world of bringing ITSM and ITOM together. I can see all in this one place, as an operator, all the critical billing services or critical services here, including e-billing. Now, as I go into the Express list, now, if you don't know, the Express list brings in events from all across the enterprise, from all kinds of different services, and makes sense of them, reduces the noise, and allows me, as the operator, to focus on the things that are important. Now, I can look at the impact of services, I can create my own configuration and share that with anybody in the organization. Now, I can see here that the e-billing service is what I want to focus on. I can narrow that down and look at all these alerts that have come in. Now, all these alerts are going to be generated by machines, or they're going to generate a ton of noise, and often that noise really doesn't mean anything to me or anybody that's new in career. So with Now Assist for ITOM, I can summarize what that message means, and then more importantly, I can actually do a quick analysis. And actually looking at this, I can see that the VMware prod backups haven't been operating properly. So now I can start to do some root cause analysis and try to figure out why that is. And because it's service operations and ITSM and ITOM together, I can see there's a change that went through my CI/CD pipeline last night that's probably the root cause. Again, our AI and ML in service operations, ITSM and ITOM together, has identified this. Now, what's most impactful, I can actually take action. I can go and look at my playbook automation that came from my automation hub using Now Assist for Creator to help me create this PowerShell script. Actually, I can go back, run a command, push the update and change into the VMware environment. It will return a message saying everything is done, services are back up. It's pretty neat. Let's see it one more time with a different service. In this case, we're going to look at content streaming. Now, same thing, lots of alerts, lots of things coming in, lots of noise being suppressed, grouped appropriately. Again, it's this machine learning, this esoteric message. I have no idea really what it means without figuring it out, but Now Assist for ITOM, I can quickly do a summarization, and it'll give me an analysis of what is available and tell me what actions I need to take to help solve this problem. So, okay, I can see that I need to go back and revert or change. So with a few clicks, I can go back into the service operations playbook and run a playbook that's going to revert to the last change that went through my pipeline. And with that, I'll run the automation playbook. It goes out to my environment, solves the issue. I'm my own hero. With Now Assist for ITOM, I'll be able to figure out, analyze, and accelerate my journey. Everything's back up. And that is Now Assist for ITOM. Now, my best friend, Kush, is about to come out. I would love to introduce him. He's going to give you all kinds of new innovations. So give a big round of applause for Kush. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I went to school, Maryland College Park, so this place always brings back fond memories to me. So very excited, woohoo, go Tubs! So very excited to have the launch event in Washington, DC. At ServiceNow, we want to empower you to do digital transformation for your enterprises. And for that, we give you amazing automation tools so that you can go back and digitize all those legacy processes and break down those silos so that work is just flowing. And we not only give you the tools, but in this release, we'll start giving you the insights and the opportunities so that you could do more and get the maximum value from the ServiceNow platform. So let's look at 2 demos to see this in action. Any analytics fans in the house? Woohoo! So one of the key feedbacks you have given us is hey, analytics is disjointed. I have to create multiple different dashboards for multiple different data sources, and then I have to stitch it all together to make sense and get insights. And it's very, very hard. So we worked on it. We not only built a unified platform analytics experience, but we also made it intuitive and seamless. Let me show it to you. So here I go and type platform analytics. And in Analytics Center, this is the one place stop where you can go and ask questions about your data. You can go and see all the dashboards you have ever created in this one place stop. You can go look at the data visualizations. Everything shows up here. From this exact same place, you can even create new visualizations. Now, the cool thing is these visualizations will be data agnostic. You could create a visualization here where data coming from performance analytics, metric base, or UX analytics. Let's take an example. Here, I have built my personal dashboard. I have a couple of widgets where data is coming from table data, couple of widgets showing data from KPIs, which are coming from performance analytics, and I have this map where the data is coming from user experience analytics. It lets me tell the story which I want to tell with data. And not only that, the platform is always trying to find insights for you. So if you go to the Insights panel, this is another cool functionality which we are adding. It finds the right insight for you. So here it's figuring out that one of the KPIs which I've created is going to miss the target. That's not good. Let's take a look. I can go to that page, and it exactly figures out what KPI it is. I can go and drill down more into that data and do the exploration. Or if you're like me, I'll again hit the Insights button, and it exactly finds me where the problem is. You see the slope, number of open incidents should go down, but on Feb 27th, there is a deviation happening. So it exactly figured out where the deviation is in that slope, and now, as a KPI owner, I can go back and figure out what happened on that day and go fix it so that I don't miss the KPI. Now, you all must be thinking like, okay, all these are cool features, but now are you going to ask me to migrate all my dashboards and all my visualizations to this new experience? Now, this is the second set of feedback. You all have mentioned us that like, hey, like we want to use the innovations from platform, but we don't want to pay the cost of migration. Migration is costly, migration is risky. So we built the migration for you. So let's take a look at that. So I can go to the Migration Center, and here you can learn everything about platform analytics. You can discover all the new features which we are adding in this release and future releases. You can go look at the frequently asked questions. You can take it for a spin, try it with a couple of dashboards. Or if you're like me, hit the Start Moving button. As soon as I do that, it's automatically transferring all my dashboards, visualizations, everything which I've created for n number of years into this new experience. But again, you are in control. You can go and hit compare for any of the scenario. We have built this amazing diff experience where you can look at that exact same dashboard in the new experience and in the old experience. And if everything looks great and you like it, it's only one click of a button. You activate and it's done. Now this is super amazing because all the hard work you have done over the last many years, bring it to platform analytics and start getting the insights. But ServiceNow is a system of action. We want to convert those insights into actions, into automations, so that work is just flowing. Now let's take a look at that. Let's go to Workflow Studio. Here, I want to create a new flow. Now this time, in the trigger, I want to use analytics as a trigger. So let's go. Let's type proactive analytics. And right there it is. Now, I can go select any trigger. I can select if a target is missed, if a threshold is breached, and I create a really simple flow. It could be send an email if this happens, or I can create a complex flow with it. Let's go back to Workflow Studio. Another big feedback you all gave us was like, hey, your automation tools are super cool, but again, they are very disjointed. To build an end-to-end automation, I have to go to many different places And again, it's quite a journey for me. So again, we heard you. We built Workflow Studio, a single place where all your automation tools and analytics shows up. Here, I can open any playbook and visually see it end to end. If you're more of a Kanban kind of a person, you can see it in a board view and see all the swim lanes and the tasks. You can build flows without writing a single line of code. And you can have all your complex business rules added to decision table and build automation on top of that. So right here in Workflow Studio, you see your playbooks, your flows, your subflows, actions, data streams, and decision table, all in one place. Not only this, we are giving you analytics on top of this. So I can go and look at a particular playbook and see how many executions per month for that playbook. Drive insights from that, and again, refine it to take it further. We also know that when you're building automations, you need integrations. You have to go to the store, figure out what integration is available. So we bought those integrations right here in Workflow Studio, so you can look at all the available spokes and use it and build automation. So let's build something cool. Let's build that exact same scenario which I talked about with analytics. But this time, we'll use the power of generative AI to do that. So let's give it a flow name. Let's give it a prompt. Here the prompt is like, hey, whenever a proactive analytics trigger is breached for a security vulnerability, send an email to that platform architect. Now I'm going to give this prompt to Now Assist. And Now Assist behind the scenes is going to use the power of generative AI and flow to create this automation end-to-end. Let's take a look. And just like that, that automation is created. I didn't lift a finger. Everything is right there. It understood my intent. It understood the trigger. It came up with the right conditions, and everything is looking great. So I'm going to press done. It also recommending me what are the next steps. I can go and update the record now, or I can send an email. I want to send an email to that platform architect. So let's click that. Let's drag and drop that data pill. And as soon as I do that, the email address, the table, the subject, everything is auto-populated. Everything looks good. I'm going to hit activate. Now, next time when it happens, that email is automatically going to go, and the automation is going to run behind the scenes. I'm very excited to see what you all will be doing with the marriage of performance analytics, UX analytics, bringing insights to you, and converting those insights with workflow automation into end-to-end automation. So super excited to see how you take it to the next level. Now I would like to invite Kathy to show you more innovations on top of our platform. Thank you.
Hello. It's great to be here with you all today. You guys are a great audience. And for me, I don't have a personal connection to DC, so I'm just going to do probably what you want. I'm going to jump into the demos. That sound all right? All right. So I'm very excited to introduce sales and order management because it helps organizations to sell, fulfill orders, and provide customer service all on one platform. And I'm going to take you through a brief customer journey today. We're going to show how a salesperson can walk a customer through handling an opportunity, a quote, and then an order, and then transition to customer service who can do some post-sale changes for that customer. So we're starting here with opportunity management. This is new on the ServiceNow platform, and it helps salespeople to manage the full opportunity lifecycle from prospecting to closing. So as a salesperson, if I have a customer who's closing an order with me, I can come out here to my Kanban view, and there's different sales cycles you can define, and I can just filter down on those. And when I find the right one, I've been negotiating. Now we're just going to move it over here into the closed one column, and it updates the status for me. So completing the opportunity lifecycle that you can manage now within ServiceNow. So it's also really important for salespeople to provide great service to their customers. So here from the account list, as a customer contacts me, I can click in and I can answer so many of their questions. If they have questions about their install base, I have access to their full install base and can access that to help them understand what they have. And then sold products. This is a view of all of the products and services that customers purchase from your organization. And so again, I can answer their questions and provide a great level of service. What I want to do now is I have this customer who's interested in getting a new quote for a security system. And so from here, from the account record, I can simply initiate a new quote and fill in some information to get it started, a description and an expiration date. And then as we add line items, it starts the quote process. So one of the things we've enhanced in this release is pricing. We've had pricing before, but we've enhanced it so that now you have account-based pricing, so you can set negotiated prices across your customers. We've also added in this release pricing extensions, because we know you have external systems that you use to manage your pricing. It's complicated. And we want you to be able to leverage that and pull that into ServiceNow. So that's part of the Washington, D.C. release as well. So the next step is really to start configuring this quote. So the catalog, which we've had for a little while, but we've enhanced it again so that you can browse through a hierarchy here, or you can search using terms or keywords or codes to be able to locate items in large catalogs more quickly. So it's really important for salespeople to be efficient. Now that I've located this bundle that I want to provide a quote on, I pull it up. And this configurator UI is also brand new. We've heard loud and clear from you that you need an easier order and quote configuration experience. So now that these options are presented to me, I can walk my customer through picking a monitoring plan, rules enforced, I can only pick one. You'll see the price over here change as I keep adding things to the quote. So cameras and sensors, things like that, setting my quantities, all of that's detailed here so I can communicate it to the customer. So after I validate it, I can add that bundle into the quote, and it expands all the line items so that I can see the details here. So now I'm doing kind of a final step. I mean, we're obviously fast forwarding through this process, but I can validate the quantities and the prices. Discounts you can configure in the system, so I can explain what all the markdowns would be. And then hopefully the customer at some point agrees to move forward with this quote, and it becomes an order. So now by marking it complete, this button shows up here. And this is where the power of the platform really comes through, because we've seen opportunities, the quote, and now just by clicking a button, I can automatically create the order from the quote. I don't have to do a manual copy-paste of data. You don't have to integrate systems for your company. It's all on the ServiceNow platform. And with final review and then submission, we move from the order capture stage into order fulfillment. Now, generally, there's a different fulfillment team, and what we've heard from them is they need an easier way to manage complex order fulfillment. And so all of these tasks here, these are generated by a subflow within Flow Designer, right? And now you can get a visual view, a Gantt chart view, showing you over time all those tasks, and most importantly, if things are at risk of being delayed, so that people in order fulfillment can take action to keep the order on track. All right, so that's the order timeline view. So the next step, I want to fast forward again. A couple weeks go by, and that same customer calls for a problem with the camera. They call your customer service team. And so customer service helps them with the problem. And at the end of the call, they say, hey, I want to add a couple more cameras to an order I placed several weeks back. Well, now I can come to the same sold products list that I showed you a minute ago that the salesperson was looking at. And you find the right order. And now these are new buttons up here that allow you to do post-sale commercial changes, modify, suspend services, disconnect. And so what I want to do here is do a modification on an existing order. This is the same catalog that came up just a couple minutes ago. So whether you're doing an order, a quote, post-sale, all the same catalog. All I need to do is change the quantity, and updating it creates a brand new order. It's a change order, and you can see here that just this one line item within the bundle was updated, right? So submitting this order, again, starts the fulfillment process for that one order line that's been updated. So that was a lot in a short period, but this is kind of the 50,000-foot view of what's in sales and order management. And it helps organizations to do all this on the ServiceNow platform, selling, fulfilling, and providing great customer service so that your organization can optimize lead to cash and increase revenue. So that's it from me. And that's okay, you can applaud. Thank you. I'd like to bring Lauren back up on stage for the next segment.
Wow, thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you, Kush, and thank you, Theo. Let's give one more big round of applause for all those demos today. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pride and privilege to pivot today's conversation a little bit away from software and to reflect, again, the innovation of the Washington, D.C. community. Please welcome to the stage Alan Andreas and Kanika Tolver for this lovely panel conversation. Welcome. Thank you so much. Welcome to the big stage, Kanika and Alan. How are y'all doing today?
I'm excited. How y'all doing?
Woo! Well, thank you so much for joining me here today. You two have some very storied and amazing careers that we will be talking about slightly later. But first, I gotta ask you, what did you think about Washington, D.C. so far, software-wise? Kanika, I'll kick things off with you.
Sure. So I am an ITSM product manager. So currently I'm working on an amazing project where we are transforming our IT service desk to use the virtual chat agent. So I'm super excited about some of the new features like integrating it with Microsoft Teams. I feel like this is going to enhance our self-service capabilities. We're going to be able to communicate effectively more with our customers. Live agents will be able to, get those reduction in tickets closed out. And I just think that Teams is such a tool that we use here in the public sector within the government, and I know that Teams will definitely enhance our interactions with our end users. I'm also super excited about the large language modeling discovery topics. I think that that's going to really enhance us being able to discover topics more faster. Of course, we're using the Vancouver version right now, but I feel like, we'll be able to discover topics. You don't be able to have to require to be utilizing utterances and intents, and I think that that is going to be an amazing feature for the new release as well.
We have to chalk up that Teams integration on our side as well. Internally, Might be really fun to have. Alan, got any particular favorites?
Yeah, so there's a couple that I'd like to point out, especially for the DC area. The new in-platform support for CAC and PIV card digital signing is a huge thing, I think, for a lot of the federal agencies and things out there that are using those. Previously, you had to there was a few options out there, but one of the main ones was working with DocuSign. And so with that, you had to actually have an executable installed on the client, on the laptop. And as you know, that's probably not going to fly. Then you had to install a browser plugin as well on top of that. And so now using Adobe Acrobat Reader, which most applications or most computers will have installed already, you'll be able to leverage that right within the platform. So super excited about that. The other is the software developer kit. As you know, it's really the last few releases have been kind of low code focused. This one really swings the pendulum back towards the pro code side of the house. And the benefit here is that for people that grew up coding with the platform, and kind of like you mentioned earlier, it gives someone a pathway to say, okay, I've learned some of the basics. Now let's branch out and move into a bigger opportunity here using third-party libraries and things like that. So that's just a few features I'm excited about.
Very exciting. Now, pivoting a little bit, obviously we've talked a lot about AI today. I'd love to get your thoughts and feelings about how AI is not only progressing throughout the industry, but also how it's transforming ServiceNow as a platform as well. And I'll keep on with you, Alan.
Okay. Yeah, so with AI, that increases accessibility to the platform, and with that's coming, the need for governance. And so that's a big topic here where I see ServiceNow has been a part of those discussions, even with the European Union and things like that, with the new AI Act that just kind of passed recently. That is big on really making sure that you have a governance structure kind of stood up, and I see ServiceNow kind of leading the way there. The other piece is with the ability to listen to the community. So ServiceNow is huge on the feedback, give us, what we're looking for, as kind of Kush mentioned during his presentation. They're actively listening to the community and saying, tell us more about that. And so with ServiceNow, where I see this thing kind of going is the AI around continuous improvement. So now you have generative AI, which is generating text to code, text to flow, things like that. Now I see things going to continuous improvement. So we've had a version 1 or a first iterance or pass on that code. Now ServiceNow can review that again and actually say, hey, we've actually noticed that there's a way to tighten this code up or do something a little bit differently. So I see a continuous improvement initiative with AI leading the way and really starting to do that from a platform health perspective as well. So.
Love to see that. Continuous governance, or excuse me, not government, that's a lot here. Continuous governance is always a fantastic thing. Kanika, what are your overall thoughts and feelings?
I'm super excited about the use of AI, especially for developers. I manage a lot of development teams currently right now, and I think that AI is going to really enhance our development efforts. We're going to be able to develop a lot faster. Developers are going to be able to leverage the things that they learned before the use of AI, but we're also going to be able to save a lot of money with our customers. So I'm extremely excited about the use of AI. I, Alan had mentioned comment to code, text to code. There are just so many new features that I think are going to be super amazing for us to be utilizing. I'm so excited about being able to leverage AI, not just for developers, but for live agents, for the end users to be able to leverage self-service capabilities, being able to connect with knowledge articles at a faster pace through the use of things like the virtual chat agent. So I really think that it's not just going to benefit developers, but it's going to benefit everyone that's going to be interacting with AI through the use of these amazing capabilities that are coming out.
Fantastic. Now, I kind of teased a little bit earlier that we're going to speaking a lot about your careers and your stories as well. These two are absolute stars of our ServiceNow community. And so I just wanted to I'll start with you, Kanika. How have you seen ServiceNow kind of enhance and improve your career and your overall story?
First of all, the ServiceNow community has been amazing, especially during the pandemic. I started to actually use ServiceNow. I got introduced to ServiceNow in my current role. I was pretty much didn't know anything about ServiceNow, so I was extremely new to the platform, but my manager came to me and he said, hey, we have this project where we're moving our IT service desk from Remedy to ServiceNow. Would you like to lead the project? And I'm like, hey, I was hired to work as a Drupal project manager, but hey, I'll jump in and work on ServiceNow. So I would say utilizing the online community has just really helped me jumpstart my career in this ecosystem. I've been able to meet so many amazing people. I've been able to leverage my knowledge a lot faster through my relationships, through the content that's always being produced on a regular basis. And I've been able to also show other people that they can do exactly what I have done by having zero knowledge. So I think that ServiceNow has really helped me to get exposure to other projects like SecOps, GRC, case management applications. And I would just say that I just feel like I'm constantly learning, so I'm excited about it.
Always be students of the platform. That's my motto too. Alan, what about you? I have heard, as we were prepping for this conversation, y'all have kind of been two ships passing in the sea of your careers have overlapped a little bit, to my surprise.
Yeah, so for me, I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years. Semper Fi, Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.
Easy. All right, but I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years, and I did administration in there. So, I was everybody's best friend. I kind of helped control the pay a bit, so they were always trying to hang out and all of that. But anyway, so when I got out, you really do that transition. You evaluate, how can I segue from military to civilian? What can we do here? What's the opportunities? And so for me, I got out and I started as an administrative assistant and moved into being an executive assistant. And one of those days, after getting the person's dry cleaning and bringing it to their office, they said, hey, can you bring me, some coffees to this big meeting we were going to have? And I'm walking down the hallway and I've got these 2 coffees and I go, you know what? This isn't my jam. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing here. And so I did. Everyone wants to know, did you end up delivering the coffees? Yeah. I made the coffees.
Did you dump the coffees?
I delivered the coffees, but then I turned around and I actually kind of just left out of there. So anyway, fast forward, as most of us, fell luckily into the platform. Just happened to be at an organization that was using ServiceNow, and then I started asking questions about, hey, why is this field this way? What could you do it this way, that way? And so they ended up saying, hey, you sound like you want to know a lot more about the platform. Won't you become an administrator? And I kind of got lucky with that path there. Fast forward a few years, I started to hear about the Certified Master Architect program from the expert programs with ServiceNow. And so for me, it was like the dream to get there. So you start to plan out your path of how you're going to get there, step 1, 2, 3, all of that, and you start to try to put those wheels into motion yourself. And so for a lot of us, we really limit our capabilities to what we do day to day. Our impact, our exposure to the platform is limited to what we do. But for those of us that really want to branch out there and do more, you have to really get outside the box there and start to set own goals for yourself. And so for me, I ended up becoming a certified master architect just last year, so a big achievement there.
Heck
Thank you very much.
While prepping for Knowledge, by the way, I will add, he was part of the curriculum that was taking
We were
the
in
test
Knowledge
during
last
Knowledge.
year, doing a presentation for that, but we had our last week, 19, was during the Knowledge conference. So it was either study or go to Knowledge, and I said yes. We just did both, right?
That was the slogan, the big yes sign.
There you go. So for me, after that, and I'm one of the few military veterans that are also CMAs, so we're looking to get that branched out more. Let's get some more veterans in there. But for that, after that, I started working in public and private sector consulting and things like that through my journey, and that's where I ended up working as a lead architect for a consulting firm that did work with the Department of Treasury, where Kanika is at. So luckily for me, we actually had crossed paths previously. Great project manager, by the way. And so for that, you never know. The community is so small, but it's a lovely ecosystem, and you never know who you're going to end up meeting or interacting with later. So.
Fantastic. Also, again, I want to acknowledge, shout out to all of our troops, and we're extremely grateful for everything that you do for this country. So thank you again for bringing attention to that community. So thank you. Now, I'm going to steal a bit from our ServiceNow podcast. One of my favorite questions that I like to ask any guests that come on this podcast are, if you're in the crowd, right, and you're seeing these stories and you're feeling inspired and you're wanting to follow in Kanika and Alan's footsteps, what possible advice do you have for those people that are starting their ServiceNow journeys? I'll start with you.
Yeah, and so it's really, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. A lot of us, we have this imposter syndrome, and I'll be honest, being a CMA, I almost feel like it gets a little bit worse, because now you go into the room and they're like, oh, you're a CMA, you know everything. And none of us do. And so if you think getting to CMA is going to get that all away and put that in the closet, no, you're going to have to deal with that. Imposter syndrome is real. So don't be afraid to be yourself. And the big thing, as I mentioned before, is set goals little bit by little bit, knock them out one at a time, and grow. And the other thing is, if you're not involved with the ServiceNow community, the forums, social media, Slack, the developer advocacy team, get involved. You can be right here where we are today sometime next year or the year after that. You never know. But you have to put yourself out there. And if you like to be creative with what you're doing, maybe you're like, well, I'm not technical, but I know I can do some good design work with Photoshop, or I love to do things with making videos. Then be a content creator about things you've learned about the platform. And so that's some of the big things that I think for someone starting out, is that you don't have to be a developer to get in.
Absolutely not. Fantastic words of advice. Kanika, I have saved the final word for you. What type of advice do you have for the newbies in the audience that are excited to start their ServiceNow journey?
So it is not a sprint, it's a marathon.
It's a good soundbite. That's very true.
If you do not have to learn everything all at one time, because there's so much more to learn. I learn something new every day on my job. And I think sometimes those are trying to transition into the ecosystem. They're trying to specialize in everything. And I think it's important to figure out one or two things you want to specialize in initially, and then make that your way to get into the job. Don't let job descriptions intimidate you, because there's so much out there for you to learn, but you're going to have to be a student of your career. I think it's so important as you build your brand within this ecosystem is to create your own ServiceNow alter ego. Some people call themselves the mayor of ServiceNow. I call myself the corporate rebel of ServiceNow. But I think it's important as you build your brand to build in public and bring your extra secret sauce. What is your recipe that you're going to bring and add to the ecosystem? And just continue to build relationships, and you'll have an unstoppable career.
I love that. The ServiceNow alter ego. That's fantastic. I cannot tell you how happy I am that I got to speak with you on stage today. It's my pleasure. So please give a fantastic round of applause for both Kanika and Alan, and welcome back to the stage, Chuck Tomasi. Thank y'all so much. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Awesome.
Woo! Boom! Boom! Oh, two great people. Great stories, great advice. I love it.
Absolutely.
This isn't over yet. There's more. There's more content. We invite you to get out your phones, take a picture of the QR code that's there. We've got you covered. There's more content on Washington, D.C. coming.
Absolutely. And not just more content, we've got content of every single media type you can think of. We've got recordings, we've got upgrade kits, and all of this is starting on March 20th here online as well as in the general ServiceNow community ecosystem.
That's right. And the fun isn't over yet because we are only 47 days away from Knowledge, and that includes CreatorCon.
No, not just CreatorCon, the 10th CreatorCon. So please join us in Las Vegas for that amazing party. We've got special surprises already planned in store for you, so be sure to join us in Las Vegas for this Road to Knowledge. Consider this the start of the Road to Knowledge, so stay tuned on the ServiceNow community for all relevant news and bulletins.
Make sure to sign up. Today would be good. Today is good. We'll see you in Vegas, May 7th through 9th.
Woo!
Take
Thank
care.
you so much.
Thanks, everybody.